All right. Hello. There we are. Hey, Max. How's it going, man? We are live.
Fantastic, buddy. Fantastic. How are you doing?
We are live on the air for
No
SquadCast.
particular reason for this fantasticness. Just happy to be here.
Nothing really happened or anything. Eh?
No, not at all. Not in the last 48 hours or nothing. Nope. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing good's happened.
Yeah, no, nothing.
Nope.
So welcome in episode 70 of the SquadCast. We are broadcasting from home, as you can see. Max over at his place, me at my place, and we got a lot going on tonight. Obviously, there's literally a ton of stuff going on, so we're gonna break it down for you in a bit of a longer first segment with me and Max before our guests come in, and we'll get to our guests in just a couple of minutes as to who's coming in tonight. But I just want to welcome you guys in because you are the squad. You are the finalists, and we're super pumped to have you here. A big shout out to our sponsors before we get going here, IKS Media Technology. We got Original 16. I got the hard seltzer here, Max, as per usual. Helps me get through the show at the end of the show. It's always a nice nightcap, right? So we got that going on, plus our good friends at Hooplife Basketball and RBI Baseball and Softball, who you'll be hearing from later tonight because those are our guests. Andrew Gottselig's coming in about 30 minutes time, and Andrew Gottselig from Hooplife, of course, and Brandon Radmacher from RBI Baseball and Softball, and they have a big announcement that they're going to talk to us about, so I'm excited to hear about that. As always, ask us anything throughout the night. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, you want to talk about any topics, send them into the comments. We want to hear from you because I see people like Katie Fleury checking in over there. But can we talk about the talk of Fleury going back to Vegas? We'll get there, Katie. David Roska's checking in. How's it going, David? He's pumped about the Rams. We'll get to that in a sec. This Super Bowl halftime show was great, but not the best ever, says Robin. Prince, best ever. All about the pouring rain, iconic. Of course. Jacob's talking about, he's been blowing up my phone already tonight about Mark Stone and the Vegas Golden Knights. So we'll get to that, of course, because that's one of our topics. But again, we want to hear what you guys want to talk about. So send in your topics, send in your comments. But I got to shut up because I'm not the most excited person here tonight. I'm happy to be here. But this guy, where am I? This guy, he's got a bit of a soliloquy for us, a monologue. So Max, I was going to say St. Louis again, but your Los Angeles Rams are Super Bowl champions, Max. I mean, the floor is yours, buddy. Take it away.
Yeah. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. All right. Wow. That was a roller coaster of emotions on Sunday night. I tell you what, man. It's weird, right? Because I understand that for the masses, right, the Super Bowl may have not, as far as the game was concerned, it might have been a little not the most exciting, a 23-20 finish. But being a fan of a team that's in it, it doesn't matter what the score is at the end of the day. It is tops and turns and twists and rolls. And that's exactly what I went through on Sunday night. Wow, they did it. They friggin' did it. That's all I want to say. This team was all in. Everybody's oh yeah, I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah.
I don't know who that guy is, but he seems pretty happy.
It's you and Aaron Donald.
Pumped. Me and Aaron Donald. Hey, I shot him a message after the game. He still hasn't had a chance to get back to me. Fairly busy guy. He was getting his ring sized today. He was getting his ring sized for where he wanted to go. Exactly. Yeah, I bet you it's massive. Anyways, holy man, is it such a great feeling. I've been a Rams fan. I don't know if anybody's heard the origin story of where my Rams fandom came from. It's a quick one. Sports Illustrated back in the day, you got the little cutouts where you sent it back to the publication and they'd send you a random piece of NFL merchandise. This was back when I was like 5 or 6 years old. So I sent one in and I got a St. Louis Rams hat. So that's where, what's that team? What's that logo? And you do as much research as a 5 or 6 year old does when you say, hey dad, who's on this team? And of course, my father obliged, said, well, that's Kurt Warner's team. And then that was about the extent of his knowledge. So then you read through more Sports Illustrated, you learn it was the greatest show on turf, blah, 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 this and that. And then they get to 2018, disappointment of a Super Bowl, obviously 13-3 loss to the Patriots, got a little Belichick. And then it was all in time for these LA Rams. 2021, you go out, you acquire Matt Stafford. Oh man, I love Matt Stafford. OBJ, yes. Von Miller, The cast goes on and on. You lose Robert Woods, you lose Tyler Higbee, you lose OBJ in the game, and you
Right.
just and again, right? Everybody kept saying the narrative that I kept on here. This is a super team. This is what they should have done. This and that. Yes, absolutely, they did build a Super Bowl winning team. Absolutely, they did, but it didn't come without adversity. Obviously, the face mask non-call that led to 7 points put them behind the 8 ball in the second half. Stafford goes out, tip pick off of Ben Skowronek's hands. Really tough one. At that point, it was very deflating. I was a very, very quiet Rams fan in that moment at the start of the second half, but they found a way. They found a friggin' way, and I'm just so pumped. Man, what an incredible season. It had its ups, it had its downs. There's a 3-game losing streak in the middle there where everyone's like, the super team, it's going to fail, this and that, 7-4, they're not going to do it. Well, guess what? They friggin' did it. And I'm just so pumped. They were all in, and now they're all done. They got their Super Bowl championship. My cart got loaded up with a bunch of things while I was maybe under the influence a little bit the other night. Won a couple of big bets. OBJ first touchdown paid for about half of my cart worth of stuff. So, yeah, man, it's just an exhilarating feeling. I haven't seen a Preds win a Stanley Cup yet. I haven't seen a Blue Jays World Series championship flag fly. But, man, oh, man, in 2022, I'm so pumped for my LA Rams as they got over the mountaintop. Sean McVay, Les Snead, the strategy paid off when everybody said it wasn't going to work, because that's not how you build a Super Bowl winning team. You don't go out and trade and acquire all these pieces. You build it through picks. You do it through this way. You do that. Nope. No convention, no conventionality. I don't even care what the word is. None of it needed. The Rams went out. They did it their way. They did it Hollywood style, and holy shit, Clark. I'm friggin' happy, man. I'm friggin' happy.
Swear jar.
Swear jar. Sorry.
Sheridan said I was getting my beaks ready, Max, but I guess I'll have to save them.
Hey, I'm sorry, but who's Sheridan? I love you. I appreciate you tuning in every night, brother. But who's chirping 2 days after a Super Bowl win? Come on.
No, he said if the Bengals would have won, he would have had his
sorry. Again,
but he doesn't have them.
I'm on a bit of a roller coaster.
I know.
Like I said, it's
you're getting defensive, Max. You're getting defensive, okay?
Hey, you know what was defensive? That D
Rams.
line, that Aaron Donald, Von Miller might have hurt him. Pretty good.
Matt's just wondering, Max, when's your birth year?
1994.
See, he was.
Don't worry, Matt. Don't worry, Matt. I know the chronology of when the Jays last won. I was born in 94. I was an idea in 93, but no, not quite there yet. So
Max developed during the lockout year.
Yeah, exactly. It was a happy accident, as my parents like to say.
Absolutely. Anyways, Max, I'll let you breathe for a sec because I have a couple questions for you. We're not done there.
Hey, the Preds signed Mark Borowiecki to an extension. What a great day. We did talk about that.
Your day just keeps getting better.
It really does, man. It really does. Anyways, sorry. I'm done.
No, you're good.
To go.
The biggest thing that's coming out of that, Max, is what are the possible landing spots for Nick Ritchie?
A bench near you. How's that sound?
Yeah, an AHL power play near you.
There you go.
But shout out to Mitch Marner. He got his 400th point the other night, so it's pretty cool there. But overall, the game, I got to watch it up with my dad, my sister, and my mom, my wife. It was a fun night. My brother-in-law. It was a great night, and just a ton of fun. And obviously, we're going to get to a couple of big things that happened around the game as well in a sec. But Max, I guess one of my biggest questions for you is when OBJ went down, did you get a little scared? Because
I was very
before you dive into that, I noticed, for a chunk there after he got hurt, it almost seemed like the Rams were sputtering.
Yes.
Like they were shutting down Cooper Kupp, and outside of him, the run game wasn't working. It didn't seem like anyone else was really doing much. Matt Stafford couldn't find anybody open. I noticed for a stretch there too, not for the whole game, but for a stretch, he was short on almost every pass for a little while anyways. And I was getting a little worried there for a sec because the Bengals were, had that momentum for a little bit, especially coming out of the second half, that big play, of course, and all that stuff that went on. And then Stafford throws the interception. So were you a little bit scared in the middle of the game there?
Absolutely. Because it's amazing again, right? You can put all the romantic kind of gestures behind. It's Valentine's Day. Let's put a little romance into this, right? Or was Valentine's Day.
How can you not be romantic about the Super Bowl?
How can you not be romantic about the Super Bowl? But it really was. It was like a macrocosm of the entire season, right? It was, things started out really, really well. OBJ with an early touchdown. he looks like he's poised for 150-yard plus day, 2 catches, 50 plus yards. And then all of a sudden you hit some adversity, right? Robert Woods goes down in the middle of the season. Cam Akers obviously out the entire season leading up into the playoffs with the torn Achilles coming back right after 6 months. And then again, you hit that adversity point in the same time with the Super Bowl, right? OBJ, your clear number 2 target, the guy that opens up the field for Cooper Kupp a little bit until the fourth quarter. It was really, really nerve-wracking. It was, things were flowing, things were going smooth. They had a 13-3 lead, things were clicking, things were firing. But then, it all of a sudden, when he goes down, and again, you're really hoping in that moment, it's especially because of non-contact injury, you're just hoping it's something like, he jammed it, maybe shoot a little cortisone in there, whatever you got to do. He'll get back in the game. He'll find a way. It's the big game, but then you come to find out it's an ACL tear, and oh man, prayers up for Odell, because that's tough. He was a massive part of this team getting over the top of the mountain here. And again, in the game, right? He had the touchdown. He had another big catch. And again, he was continuing to open up things offensively. When you lose that presence out there, you got to close your playbook up a little bit. Like I said, you're relying on guys like Van Jefferson, a second-year receiver who's a very good receiver, but he offers a different skill set than OBJ does. You got Ben Skowronek, a 7th-round pick coming out of Notre Dame, who, you know what, he might be an okay receiver in this league, but again, he's a rookie. He's a guy that he's going to make some mistakes, and he has this postseason, but he did make a couple of catches in the game, so it was nice to see Stafford hit him for one, just to, again, get him back in there. But oh man, it was the Cooper Kupp or Matt Stafford bust. It was what got him here. It's what they needed to find a way to get through in this game. And everybody knew the ball was going to Cooper Kupp. Everybody knew it was 9-10. That was what the Rams were going to be doing, but they just found a way, despite the adversity, despite all the super team, this super team, that, right. They found a way despite the adversity. So,
and shout out to Cam Akers, because he did have a rough game, but near the end of the game, he busted out a few runs that kind of helped seal the game. So
nothing fancy, but they were big runs when they needed them. Yep.
Yeah. For everybody watching on Facebook, please tap that like button right above the comment section. It helps us out a ton. If you just hit the like button on YouTube, especially as well, hit the share button on Facebook. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Love you guys. So Max, I know the game itself was great. It was tight. It was close. It was intense. But you know what else was awesome? The halftime show. Now, there's tons of articles and there's tons of video. I didn't know if we should play a video directly.
Probably not.
Or not. But I was contemplating just playing, Snoop Dogg's song from the beginning of the Super Bowl halftime show. But
the next episode, baby. Yep.
Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent made a surprise appearance, which a lot of people kind of predicted it would happen, but it was awesome to see it. For me, obviously, big 50 Cent fan growing up. I probably don't look like your typical 50 Cent fan, but I was. Eminem.
Oh, I'd peg you for a 50 fan, buddy. I was
right in there. G Unit was my thing for a good year and a half.
Take you to the candy shop, where the Leafs are gonna fly. What? Oh, sorry.
You just had to go there.
It was right there. It was right there.
I don't know if it was.
Sorry. I'll be nice. The Rams won. I gotta get the points back if the Preds have a chance.
Fair enough. But Mary J. Blige too. Give shout out to her. Kendrick Lamar.
She was awesome.
Anderson .Paak was there. That was cool too. He was just drumming away. He didn't even have to perform a whole lot. He was just drumming, having a good time. The Eminem Neil. All the that's not what I'm trying to say. All the symbols is what I was trying to say around the set. There was street names and burger shops from their past. There was that movie marquee with all their names on it. It was really cool. A lot of different little Easter eggs too spread out throughout the sets and all of the little things that they had set up. So I'm a little bit biased because again, I was pretty enveloped with
it's our generation, man. It's our generation.
With this music growing up, my high school years, my late elementary school years. I was pretty into it. Make fun of me all you want, but I was. And
no, you don't have to apologize.
I mean, these guys were iconic,
right? So exactly, they're iconic. And you know what? This is the thing about the best Super Bowl halftime show ever. This, that, and everything else. Recency bias. There's going to be that. Obviously, there has been some flops in recent years, though, too. Right? So this was true.
Right.
Generational.
Generational bias. There's recency bias. There's perspective bias. What did you like growing up? You're obviously going to like certain ones over other ones. You're going to like a different one than I like. The argument of best Super Bowl halftime show ever is kind of ridiculous because nobody has the same taste in music. Like
Exactly.
everybody's
a little different. Yep.
So it's always going to be the case. But for me, this is right up there. At least
Absolutely.
top 2 or
Don't
3.
apologize for liking it, man. I'm
No.
right there with you. You know what? The people of the generations past don't have to apologize for when we were snoozing on the couch to when Michael Jackson was playing and Prince and all these
Michael
guys.
Jackson's is pretty badass.
And they're incredible artists. I'm just saying, right? Like that we didn't grow up with that in our generation, but these guys and Mary J. Blige, like that was what we knew, right? That so when you can bump along with that, and I must say again, just lucky enough to have a team in the game, it was a very welcome distraction for about 20 minutes going into the half, especially knowing that Cincinnati was getting the ball at the start of the second half. It was excellent. It was great. But John Ohm nails it, right? It's not his music, but he still loved the Super Bowl halftime show. And again, right, you just have to have an open mind to it, right? Ultimately, it's funny, right? You'll have people that'll go in and say, I don't know these people, what this is going to suck, this is going to be off, and you have a preconceived setup in your mind that it's going to be bad. But you know what? If you just open yourself up to some new experiences, people, it's amazing what can happen when you trade for Von Miller, OBJ, and Matt Stafford and win a Super Bowl.
You have your time already.
No, yeah, because like I'm not gonna. Okay, hold on a second. Let's.
We got to get into the Bengals though.
We'll get into the Bengals. They deserve 30 seconds. But anyways, when the Leafs win the cup, I'm not even going to be invited on the show. You're going to have an hour and a half friggin' special on your own with you and your alcohol and TikTok friends and all this. So I'm gonna take my 12 minutes on my Rams. Thank you.
No, but you know what's funny is because if the Leafs win the Stanley Cup ever, I'll be talking about like Nick Ritchie's offseason plan, like what's going to happen with Nick Ritchie in the offseason. Like,
no, you won't. I know you. You'll be pumped as you should be.
I know. Either way,
friggin' pumped, and you'll mention Max, every guy.
Take this one. There's a lot going on with the Rams, and maybe this is for another show. But give me like a 15-second answer here. Repeat? Like, what is it possible with the way that they're structured right now?
Yes, absolutely it is. Matt Stafford needs a contract extension. There's a lot of guys that do. Sean McVay needs to become the highest paid coach in the league, 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. Von Miller likely isn't going to come back, but you know what? OBJ's injury might make it possible for him to come back. He's likely not going to be ready to go for at least 10 months. That puts him back at December, same kind of time period of when he joined the Rams this season. So he possibly has a chance to come back. But we saw it. Matt Stafford to Cooper Kupp. Andrew Whitworth might retire. Joe Noteboom fills in on that protection slot side. There's a chance. There's definitely a chance with the pieces that they have in this organization. Robert Woods coming back. Again, that's another massive addition. Tyler Higbee wasn't there for the Super Bowl. There's definitely an opportunity for the Rams to still win another one in this window. Now, again, the big thing that came out of that game, though, and like you said, we'll wrap it up here on the Rams, but the whole rumors coming out about 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, generational talent, guy that closed the game out, Aaron Donald, maybe he's done. You know what? If he went out the way that he went out, all the power to him. The guy's had a legendary career, first ballot Hall of Famer, shoe-in. That's no debate whatsoever. However, I think when you watch him play last night, you know he's got a lot of football left in him. So I'm certainly hoping he has a chance to come back. I think he looks at it as him being one of the preeminent players in the NFL, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I'm thinking he wants a bit of a different contract extension, something that sets him and his family up for life. Not to say that he's not on that kind of deal already, but when you look at his contract in disparity to what TJ Watt just signed for, guys of his caliber, he's certainly deserving of a bit of a pay bump. So, like I said, there's definitely some questions surrounding this team, but I think all the main pieces will be back for the next episode next year.
Ooh, good reference.
Nailed it. Anyways, the Bengals.
Yeah, we'll do another episode on this because I have tons of questions, and I think we should dive into them on the Rams offseason question marks and stuff. But the Bengals, I mean, so let's show Joe Burrow, obviously. What a season for him. Hold on, just let me bring it up here. What a season for him. Obviously making a lot of Bengals fans hopeful for the future, as they should be. He's a special player. Puts out this tweet right after the game. Sorry we couldn't get it done. Proud of our team, and our fans love these guys. I mean, you got to love that. He had a great game, but just couldn't quite get it done. And before we get too far into this, shout out to Janelle. She's checking in over on TikTok. She dropped a gift over there. Thank you, Janelle. Also, Matt says, Max sounds great, but you sound like you're in a tin can. Yeah, you know what? I got to figure out my mic situation over here. Got a new webcam, which is lovely.
Got to get a mic, buddy. Got to get a mic.
I know I got to get a mic, but the webcam comes with a built-in microphone. It sucks. So I got to get myself a mic. So that's coming next. I got, you know what? Money. It's just a money thing. Got to go buy one. So we'll get one soon. But Max, Joe Burrow, Bengals. They got some young pieces too.
Yep.
They have brought in a few guys of their own. I think they could make some additions in the offseason.
Yep.
They're probably prone for another, successful window here, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And to be quick about it, I was listening to the Pat McAfee show yesterday, and again, a guy who's got some clout in terms of his experiences in the NFL, made it to a Super Bowl in his rookie year and never made it back. And that was his point. He said, you know what? People don't understand how hard it is to get there, especially in the AFC. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Mac Jones, like the litany of quarterback talent in the AFC. Joe Burrow's fantastic. But he's going to have to be fantastic. I think it comes down to what Mike Brown, the owner, is going to do with this team. He's got $60 million in cap space to work with. He's notoriously been one of the most frugal owners in the entire NFL. They've kept their draft picks, but man, when you watch that game, they give up 7 sacks. Joe Burrow really, really struggles. Thank you very much, Craig. Very happy to see you.
Good to see you, buddy. Would love, Craig, just going to throw us out there. Would love to chat with you soon on this show.
Absolutely.
Would love to get you on here and chat if you're interested. Please let us know.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. But I agree with you, Max. If you want to continue, sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, for sure. No worries. And again, just to wrap it up real quick, I know we're on a timeline, but the offensive line clearly needs some shoring up. 7 sacks in the Super Bowl ties a record for sacks given up. I know the game was 23-20, but I'm just going to say this. If OBJ's in that game, we're looking at a 10 to 14 point victory. 0 questions asked. That offense doesn't stall out like it does when he leaves the game. But regardless, like I said, it's putting it back on the Bengals. They need some offensive line help, obviously, and maybe a game breaker on defense. So it's up to Mike Brown to say, hey, if we want to get there again, we're going to need to invest a little bit, especially when Joe Burrow's on his rookie contract, because that's going to be a guy that if you're going to want to retain him, he's going to command top 10% money if he continues on the trajectory that he started his NFL career on. So all power to the Bengals. They put up a great fight, man. Oh man, they had me sweating literally down to the last minute of the football game. But it's the little things. It's the Rams star players clearly showed up right when they needed to. And that's maybe what the Bengals were lacking a little bit, just a little bit of star power and a little bit of completeness in terms of the offensive line. So
all right, Max, it is time. We're switching gears. We're hitting the ice because we got some hockey news. We got to get.
We got some hockey news. Mark Borowiecki, 1 year, $900K. Let's go.
We spent
7th defenseman walked. Just kidding, 6th.
We spent a good chunk of time here on the Super Bowl and NFL, obviously, but this was dominating the hockey headlines. The Calgary Flames go out and trade for Tyler Toffoli for a first-round pick this year, which could turn into, it's conditional, so it could turn into some other stuff. A 5th-round pick in 24, Tyler Pitlick, who's just a roster guy to get them through the year, more or less, and Emil Heineman, who is a prospect who's already been traded twice now. He was originally a Florida Panthers prospect, was traded in the Sam Bennett trade earlier this past, what was it, in the summer? Last season.
Sam Bennett was last season, yeah.
Right. So Janelle says, can we not talk about Tyler, please? She's a little sad. Janelle, we're talking about it. Thank you, by the way, Trent saying SquadCast the best. Appreciate you.
What was that meme out there that I saw? Is that the Canadians are collecting pitlicks like infinity stones?
They have every pitlick who have ever played in the NHL.
They got the soul stone, they got the mind stone, and they got the time stone. So let's see if it turns into anything. They're only destroying their own universe right now, though. So.
Oh, I know, totally. So the biggest thing, Craig's coming in, he's saying great trade. I agree. This is my thoughts on it. We won't have to spend too long on it. Tyler Toffoli is comfortable with the head coach, which is big when your head coach is Daryl Sutter, because not everybody can get along with Daryl Sutter. Let's be
especially
straight
when
up
you want to
honest
stand the cup with him.
Absolutely. He's comfortable with like half the players on the team. Half of them are from the Canucks, half of them are from the Kings, and the other half were half. Doesn't matter. The other
halves.
The other crew were already there in Calgary, but Christopher Tanev was there in Vancouver when he was there. Jacob Markstrom, the Lucic, all sorts of guys. Tanner Lewis, yeah, that's right, Tanner Lewis. the whole crew was over in LA or Vancouver when he was there. So he knows like a good portion of the team already, and he's comfortable with it. And he's going to come in. He played junior hockey with Sean Monahan, Max. He's going to come in and play third line with Sean Monahan. Now, I know Sean Monahan's had a rough go here. Let's not pretend that Sean Monahan is the same 40-goal Sean Monahan that was, hanging around a few years ago. But it's still Sean Monahan as a third line center. Now you got Toffoli on that line, and you got up and coming Dylan Dubé as a third line. Your second line's Mangiapane with Backlund and Coleman. That's a hard second line to play against. All of a sudden, and they were already good because they had won 6 in a row. Now this sets up the Flames for something special. And I really do think that, I know the Eichel stuff is happening and all that in Vegas. Calgary could be the best team in the Pacific. Hot take. But they could be the best team in the Pacific, I think. What do you think, Max?
It deepens the lineup, no question, right? Now it's a matter of putting it all together. Like you said, I think you speak to the comfortability of him walking into that locker room. You just know that Brad Treliving, when he walked down to the locker room, said, hey, guys, what do you think about Tyler Toffoli? He probably had a lineup of guys saying, yeah, find a way to get this guy on the team. That speaks volumes, right? So you just know it's been a very weird go for Tyler Toffoli in Montreal, right? Obviously goes to a Stanley Cup final and has the pedigree himself. Had a decent little stint in Vancouver that got him paid in free agency, but now it's like, all righty, time to run the Canadian gauntlet a little bit more here. For Toffoli, he's now played on half the Canadian teams in the last calendar year and a half. It's been a pretty crazy ride. So definitely deepens the lineup in Calgary, no question about it. They probably again compete with Vegas in terms of forward depth, zero question about it now. It's just a matter for them of, again, can you put it all together when it matters? It's obviously Vegas is having some headlines as of late that are going to maybe question how well they're going to be positioned down the stretch with Stone hitting LTIR, which we'll get into in a minute. But Jack Eichel's coming back. And Jack Eichel is, for by all indications of the skates that we've seen, Jack Eichel's going to be a major difference maker. But yeah, no question for Tyler Toffoli and the Calgary Flames. This is one of those moves that signals, we're in it this year. We're going for it. We're going to have a chance.
The quote of the whole thing was Brad Treliving coming out the other day and saying, the players have done their job. Now it's time I did mine. Oh,
nailed it.
I love it.
Good PR person in Calgary writing good quotes. Gotta love it.
Yes. So speaking of that, I mean, you already kind of talked about it. Kelly McCrimmon announced that Mark Stone's going to be going on the LTIR in order to.
I read that and I was like, Nikita Kucherov going on LTIR? Oh, wait, just kidding. It's Mark Stone.
Pretty much the same thing. So obviously you had called this, Max. I mean, we talked about this months ago, but you had called this specifically with Max Pacioretty when he was hurt, but he came back. So Mark Stone, now I have him in my fantasy teams, a couple of them, and he's been on and off the injured list all season. So this isn't, to me, it doesn't feel kind of the same as Kucherov's did. That one just seemed fishy. This one, I can see some legitimacy behind it, but still super convenient, right? That just happened to happen at the exact same time Jack Eichel was coming back. Right. But either way, I mean,
in comes one cap hit, out goes the other. Interesting how that works, hey?
Interesting. And they get to keep everybody. They don't have to trade out Marchessault. They don't have to trade out Riley Smith, Alex Martinez. They don't have to trade any of those guys.
Evgeny Dadonov stays.
So they keep the depth. They get Mark Stone back for playoffs, most likely. And Bob's your uncle. Looks like Vegas is going to be strong. Again, it's going to be an interesting battle to see who kind of comes out on top of that Pacific and gets home ice advantage. Because hey, let's say it is Calgary ahead of Vegas, and Calgary gets second round, Vegas gets second round. They play each other. Home ice is going to matter in that series. So that could be huge. But that's kind of, we already talked about that a little bit, so we don't have to get too much farther into that. One note that I just wanted to make was this one right here. Sidney Crosby, the great kid. He's not the kid anymore. Sid the kid. The great kid. He scored his 500th goal tonight. And I just love this graphic because it shows you how many goals he scored by month. And I just love that May has 4 goals.
Right.
He's played a couple games in May over his career, and they scored 4 goals. But he loves November, apparently 91 goals in November over his career. So just super cool. Max, just cause you and I, this is kind of the guy that we grew up with as like the best.
Oh, absolutely.
We've seen his whole career. Whereas we can't say that for, some of the other greats like Mario Lemieux. we missed the 80s. Right. So Gretzky, those guys, all the ones before him, Crosby was kind of the one where start to finish, we got to see this guy. And it's been so cool to watch. And, I think a lot of people have changed their mind on Crosby because you probably remember, but, a lot of people didn't like him when he first came in the league, thought he was a whiner, thought he was a baby, thought he dove. But he has developed into, one of the classiest, most professional guys in the league. And for him to get to this accomplishment, I want to see how much longer he plays and how much higher he goes, because he could be a guy who plays for a while. Honestly, I know he's had some injury issues in his career, but I could see him playing for quite a bit longer. You got anything to say about Sidney Crosby, Max?
I think I wonder if this is the game I like to play, and we'll get back to the great accomplishment for Sidney Crosby. One of the absolute, if not the best player of our generation anyway. I mean, again, we've been treated as some good ones, man. Alex Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby, like we grew up in that era, and it was a fantastic treat to watch every night. But do you think that if the Anaheim Mighty Ducks at that time were fortunate enough to win the draft lottery, that he could have saved the old branding? Do you think that he would have been enough that if they drafted Sidney Crosby in that sweater when Bobby Ryan went at number 2, if the balls would have fell their way, sorry, my mind is in a weird spot right now. That was a funny joke in my head. But anyways, if the balls dropped the right way to Brian Burke and the Anaheim Ducks,
right,
at the time, the Mighty Ducks, I wonder if he could have saved the old branding. And just imagine Sidney Crosby in California rocking those jerseys his entire career, carrying that legacy. But anyways, that's not how it happens. Revisionist history. It's just, that's the number one question I always have with Sidney
Crosby.
What
he did save, though? Pittsburgh's branding.
He literally saved the team. He literally saved the team. So, but yeah, man, again, what more do you say about the guy, right? 3 Stanley Cups, Olympic gold. And again, I go back to, it's great. Look at that. We're in 2022 and he hit 500 goals. Remember that he missed a half a season with a lockout. Yeah. He missed almost a season and a half in and around that time frame with injuries. He probably would have got here a lot sooner if he didn't suffer those things in his career. Right. But man, oh man, again, we're not going to rewrite history. We're just going to be happy with what is. Congratulations to Sidney Crosby. Again, what a fantastic accomplishment for, again, a shoe-in first ballot Hall of Famer. 0 questions asked. It's going to be great. And I hope we get to see him for a few more years yet. And Pittsburgh's always one of those teams that I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship, obviously, given what happened back in 2017. But if they're not playing the Nashville Predators, I'm never mad about seeing Sidney Crosby lift the Stanley Cup. I really am not. He's one of those guys that you cheer for.
Medals.
And really is, and talk about like kind of the generational shift with Crosby, right? Like how when he came into the league, it was a bit of a chirpy at the ref, kind of this, that, whatever you want to call it. But that, I mean, the game's evolved, right? As a result of guys like his actions in a positive way, right? He was a guy that held refs accountable. He's a guy that if you didn't hold up your end of the bargain in terms of calling a game, you were going to hear it from arguably the best player in the entire league, night in, night out. It just is what it is. So when it comes to Crosby, good things for him. Happy to see him get it. And like you alluded to, fantastic graphic. Whoever did that up in the Penguin social media team, it was great.
Absolutely. Speaking of graphics, we didn't get to this last week because it came out after. We don't have to spend a ton of time because this has been talked about to death already. But
yes,
Dave Tippett obviously fired midweek last week by the Oilers. Jay Woodcroft is his name. Jay Woodcroft, I believe.
Jay Woodcroft.
He comes in, young guy. He was the American Hockey League coach. So far, they've been winning a couple of games. So, I mean, we'll let this one play out before we start saying it was Dave Tippett 100%. But so far, early results say maybe he had something to do with it. But I want to hold my tongue a little bit because Dave Tippett has 100% of my respect. We just have a couple more news and notes because I see that our boy, we got Austin coming in tonight. Interesting. Okay, we got to switch it up a little bit, but we'll get there. Austin, hang tight. We just have a couple more topics to get to. So Frank Saravalli comes out and drops an absolute Frank bomb. That's okay to say, I think.
That works. Yep.
Icebreakers. Yeah. Robin Lehner's injured, and I heard he could require surgery, Max. So the team sources in Vegas say that the Golden Knights have expressed interest in bringing back Marc-Andre Fleury. Now, before we go any further, who was it? Somebody commented in earlier. Let me find it because it's important to this topic. Nope, it's below that. It'll come to me. Somebody said that somebody came on radio. Here it is. that apparently McCrimmon has denied this rumor. Now, of course, he's going to deny the rumor.
Yeah.
But the fact is, it came out today, and it started the gears turning in a lot of people's minds. I think it's interesting. I mean, first of all, Max, you said this before the show as we were talking about this. Maybe should have kept him in the first place. 2 goalies ain't a bad thing after all type stuff. But I think it would be hilarious, first of all, if they got him back. I would love to see what the trade return would be, because they gave up essentially nothing for him, or to get rid of him.
Literally nothing.
Yeah, they got nothing in return to get rid of him.
They got half a bag of stick wax and a couple of used pucks.
What would they have to give back in order to bring him back? I think it would be hilarious. But also, it'd be really cool, because Marc-Andre Fleury deserves to be there if he wanted to be there in the first place.
He's still got the pads. He's ready to go night one.
Exactly. So we don't have to go too far on this one. I just wanted to bring up this rumor because it kind of came out and shook some people's mindsets and perspectives on the trade deadline and the upcoming stuff going on, because Chicago's not going anywhere, so they might as well start selling off. And if they're going to be trading Marc-Andre Fleury, the Oilers have been, a lot of people want him to go to the Oilers. Does he want to go there? Probably not. But there's a lot of stuff going on. Could he go back to Vegas? Could be something to watch out for. As we continue to roll along, Adam Brooks is on waivers. I put his jersey up on the wall because this is something that immediately when I saw it, I jumped out of my chair at work today, and everyone looked at me like I'm a crazy person, which is probably the case because of how much I enjoy Adam Brooks. He has been on the show, friend of the show, but Adam Brooks put on waivers. Now, a lot of people tag me in this, as you can see, literally on the tweet. The first person tagged me in it. Habs Breakdown. Shout out to Habs Breakdown on TikTok. He said, yeah, look. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm already planning his return party to the Leafs. But, inside baseball here, it's actually better if he clears waivers. And then if the Leafs really want him back, they could trade for him, send somebody to Vegas or whatever to make it work. Because then they can put him in the American Hockey League and they don't have to bring him up to the NHL roster right away. But we don't have to get into the intricacies of waivers, because that's, again, probably for another show. Two quick CFL notes, because this one, again, talk about shaking the ground of the league. Max, I said this to you before the show and you were like, what? Duron Carter is back in the CFL, which is great for the league because Duron Carter is a dynamic receiver. Or is he, Max? They actually signed him as a defensive back at Edmonton because Chris Jones loves tall, lanky defensive backs because they win one-on-one battles. And Duron Carter has a history of playing both ways, and in the CFL specifically has 2 pick sixes to his name, Max. So I think, and the fun part is, Max, I know you know who Duron Carter is. I know you're not the biggest CFL guy of all time. You know Duron Carter because he makes headlines. And he's been in the league for 7 years already. He's only like 28 years old. He's not very old. Like, he still has a lot of time here. He's not even 30 yet. So the fact that he's coming back, I think, is overdue, honestly. I think he should have been in the league last year. But I think it's just a really fun story, the fact that he's back in the league and he's coming back as a defensive back. I just love it. Finally,
he'll be out there for some offensive snaps if the wide receiver depth is tested too.
Wouldn't be the worst idea. He's still he's tall and lanky. He can win one-on-one battles the other way too.
Exactly.
Now this one, again, just kind of shaking people's. This one didn't go over well in Hamilton. So Brandon Banks, of course, Speedy B, one of the most prolific receivers in the CFL for half a decade now, at least. Not to mention his returning, punt returning, kick returning. He was obviously a mainstay, a franchise, cornerstone for the Hamilton Tiger Cats for the last while. He switched sides. He is now a Toronto Argonaut. And Toronto, they're not afraid to go out and make some free agent splashes. They signed Andrew Harris last week, Jagarrett Davis, another former Hamilton Tiger Cat, Adrian Tracy, another former Hamilton Tiger Cat defensive end. So they love bringing in Hamilton Tiger Cats just to shake it up and make that rivalry even stronger. Brandon Banks, just another one in that line. So there's a couple of big CFL headlines from the last few days. But, oh yeah, John Ohm saying, I hope Speedy B has a great year. Honestly, it's good for the league that all this stuff is happening because Duron Carter is good for the league. Brandon Banks is good for the league. Andrew Harris is good for the league. All these guys are good for the league. So if they can stay, even if they're, aging or, Duron Carter's out of the league, comes
Somebody's
back,
got to put that on a t-shirt. Good for the league.
good for the league.
Somebody's got to put
They
that on
should
a
wear it
shirt.
on the
Hey,
sidelines.
CFL marketing department, listen up.
You listening?
I'll talk to you for a second.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go. Now, Austin, I'm going to have to get you to adjust your camera because you're a very tall man and your face is out of the camera shot right now. There you go. I'm seeing him now. Just about. He's got it, though. He'll
Hashtag tall people problems. I wish I had
know.
that.
All right,
really
we'll
do.
bring him in now. He's looking better now. Here we go. We're bringing him in. Austin, welcome in from Hooplife Basketball. How's it going, my man? Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me. I hope the camera's good. I'm looking good. I'm in the screen.
Oh, yeah, you're good now.
Fantastic.
You know what? You're probably good before I told you to adjust it because it's a different shape down on the bottom where I see you in the little preview box. And here you're looking perfect. So you're good. Austin, I mean, we're going to talk NBA with you. We're going to talk about Hoop Life a little bit too. But let's start in the NBA because a lot's happening. If you don't mind helping us figure out what went on with this trade deadline the last couple of days. James Harden, Ben Simmons swapping teams. We got all sorts of
CJ McCollum, dude, what is going on with this silly season of NBA? Like it's we were talking about it a little bit last week, but this is the first of two as we get every single year in the NBA. Just how, when, why, where, who's winning the NBA championship? LeBron and the Lakers suck now. Just give it to us. Just fire away.
Yeah. I mean, there's finally parity in the NBA, and that's the biggest thing of all. You have the Heatles with LeBron and D Wade. You had the KD Warriors, but now there really isn't one. So it's just with the play-in and with the parity, it's just mayhem. That's all it is, really. Just everyone trying to get a bite of that cake and trying to get all the way to the chip.
What do you make of the James Harden Ben Simmons trade? Because that one obviously was we don't want to bury the lead here. That was obviously the blockbuster of the day. Harden wasn't happy. He never seems to be happy. I haven't heard James Harden happy in 10 years. So I don't know what's going on with him, but he wanted to switch. He got to go to Philly. His old general manager from the Houston Rockets is there. That's what Andrew told us last time we had Andrew on. So that was a little fun inside fact there. Ben Simmons, he wasn't happy in Philly. He gets to go to Brooklyn now. He seems better so far. So obviously a huge trade. What do you make of it? Who comes out on the better end of this? Is James Harden going to be that good of a player that – because it wasn't just Ben Simmons. It was Simmons. It was Andre Drummond, who I really like, and it was Seth Curry and some picks. So who came out on top, I guess? Is it too early to tell?
Yeah, I personally think, obviously, I would say that it is kind of an early prediction and it is too soon to kind of say it. But I think it's kind of just a win-win for both teams. Both teams having a superstar that's not happy where they are and being able to maximize that and be able to get another superstar in replacement. Most of the times when you have a guy that doesn't want to be there, that's kind of the hardest to actually get assets back. And I think both of them really came out on top. So it'll be fun to see. Obviously, Harden, one of the best players in the league when he actually cares. And hopefully he should now. So just being able to see him with Embiid, who's playing in his prime right now, that should be fun to watch. And Brooklyn being a team that struggles on defense. They've got so much firepower offensively. Being able to add who I personally thought should have been Defensive Player of the Year last year, I think it should be a win-win for both sides.
There you go. Now, one thing, we talked about a couple of times in the last few weeks, but DeMar DeRozan, former Toronto Raptors, now in Chicago, spent some time in San Antonio. Now he's in Chicago. And I think he set a record or something of like 6 straight games with 35 points, or set a big record in terms of how well he's doing. He's super productive. Are the Bulls the team? I know you said there isn't really a team this year compared to some other years, but are the Bulls as close to that as there is in the league this year?
That's a tough one. I think on paper they definitely are one of the top teams, but the biggest struggle for them has been health. I know Caruso went out. I think it was like 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 8. Same thing with Lonzo. And then just having guys in and out of the roster, even depth guys, they've had kind of come in and out. And when they're all healthy and when they're all playing together, that team is scary. But just the health bug has always been the biggest thing for every team. You look at Brooklyn last year. If Harden doesn't get hurt, if Kyrie doesn't injure that ankle, do the Bucks still win it? Obviously, all the Laker fans with their bias of AD and LeBron getting hurt, wah.
Yeah.
I think they have a real shot of making at least a legitimate push to the championship if health can be on their side.
There you go.
So, Austin, when it comes to obviously the big trade, right? It was James Harden, it's Ben Simmons, but there was a lot of other stuff that went down. Like it was like every 4 minutes, it seemed like there's going to be a 3-way trade with 9 players and 16 picks. One of them is going to be in 2046 when I retire. It's very captivating. It's very intriguing. But I think the biggest question that a lot of people, again, you always have it after the trade deadline is who was the biggest winner and who was the biggest loser across the association? Whose championship chances are that much further enhanced by the work that they did last week?
Yeah, I definitely think not necessarily championship ready, but in terms of just direction of trade was definitely the Pacers being towards the top, being able to get Tyrese for obviously Sabonis, a guy who doesn't really fit the timeline. He's still a little bit younger, but getting Tyrese is going to be huge for them. And just finally having a direction of, okay, we're going to take a step back out of mediocrity and be able to fully rebuild. I was really happy to see that they finally took that step. In terms of winners, even a team like the Suns, not a whole bunch of big moves, but just picking up Torrey Craig again, just getting off that contract of Jalen Smith, just getting some more kind of security. A guy they had last year in the playoffs that was doing well for them, just bringing him back. Just a lot of little pieces kind of here and there. In terms of losers, I would say that's definitely Portland. They've kind of been confusing with everything that they've doing. Seems like they're trying to go into a rebuild, but yet it sounds like they're just trying to clear cap for a free agent. But Portland has never been a team to get free agents. The only time I've seen them get a free agent is in 2K, and we all know how realistic that game is. But I don't really understand the Powell and Covington trade, even the CJ trade, getting Nickeil Alexander and then instantly flipping him. Just didn't really understand the direction that they were going with that.
Fair. I know a lot of people were questioning the Raptors move, and it sounds like there was a deal in place that didn't happen, which would have answered probably some of the questions. But the Raptors go out and get Thaddeus Young. He's a guy who, I think a lot of people have admired his career just in terms of his work ethic and the way he plays, the style of game he plays. But he is 33 now, and he's kind of been around the league for a while. Do you think that's going to help them at all, kind of cement the playoff spot, or is that just going to be maybe, a depth move that won't make much of an impact?
Yeah, as a Raptor fan personally, I was happy to see that we got Thad Young. I've always been a fan of him. I think it'll definitely kind of secure at least a play-in spot if they do kind of fall out of the playoffs a little bit. But I know I think it's one of the top 5 easiest schedules for the rest of the season. So I think for them, it's just kind of having that security of another kind of wing defender that you can really trust. And if it doesn't work out, at least you have another guy to kind of help mold Scotty Barnes.
Right.
Will say I saw the report today that there were some talks about getting Claxton for first, and a little bit disappointed we didn't do that. I'm always been a big fan of Claxton, but I'm definitely excited in the direction that they're going in.
There you go. So we got a few minutes left with you here, Austin. Tell us what's going on in Hooplife, because I know Andrew, last time we had him on, he was talking to us about the streaming service that's come in. The league seems to be doing really well. The facilities coming along. What's the latest, I guess, from Hooplife?
Yeah, it's been going smoothly. Everything's kind of been lining up here. Got the league still going strong. Sessions are going. We actually have a February break camp coming up too. Weight room, all the equipment is almost in, and that should be ready to go here pretty soon. And just maximizing the gym time here. Summer camps are going to be crazy again. Going to be going multiple camps each week and every single week of the summer. So if anyone wants to play basketball, this is a spot to do it.
Where can everybody sign up for those camps? Because I know they are a hot commodity. So is it just at the website, hooplifebasketball.com? Is that the best place to go to check it out?
Yeah, so it's hooplifebasketball.com/register. I think we also have some links on our Instagram and our Facebook. Always have numbers available and emails available if people have questions, but the website is the best place to be.
Perfect. All right. And make sure you guys check these guys out on all their social media channels because they do some awesome stuff. And now on the YouTube channels where everybody can watch the streams. Is that correct? You guys got a YouTube channel set up?
Yeah, we do partner with IKS, just like you guys here. So yeah,
Hey, we've heard of those guys before.
Yeah.
pretty solid people to work.
Hashtag shameless plug.
Yeah, we've got the stream set up. We've got games every single day, and that's all on our YouTube. So it's nice little way to watch some basketball, take a little break from the NBA, and watch some local talent here.
There you go. All right, awesome. Well, thanks so much for popping in. Really appreciate that. Love the basketball talk, and I'm looking forward to this stretch run in the NBA. It should be a blast to follow.
Thanks for having me. Always love coming on.
Thanks a ton for your time, Austin. Have a great night, man.
You as well, guys.
There we go. That's Austin Philipchuk. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Appreciate that. In just a couple minutes' time, we're going to switch over to baseball and talk to Brandon Radmacher, who's a good pal of me and Max. But Max, we should probably take a commercial break. I would think this would be a good important time to do that, I would say.
For the sponsors, absolutely. For the sponsors, got to do it. Yeah.
All right, so we will see you guys in just a couple minutes.
Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience.
There we go.
It's time
Commercial
for an upgrade.
Here,
Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Everyday hoop life.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. IKS Live, the proud producer of The Rod Peterson Show and The Recovery Hour. Visit us at IKSLive.ca.
Oh, there we go. We're back, and I see that our guest is ready to go. So we're going to get to him in just a few seconds here, Max. But, man, awesome chat with Austin so far. We've broken down the Super Bowl. We've talked about the halftime show. We've talked about the Tyler Toffoli trade and some rumors in the NHL. What we haven't talked about is baseball. And you know what, Max?
Oh, I miss baseball so
Guess what today was?
Today was the day where pitchers and catchers were supposed to report to spring training.
Yeah. So to join us in our crying therapy session, let's bring him in now. Brandon Radmacher, our good buddy. Coach Roddy.
Fellas.
Brandon, how you doing, my good man?
I'm doing well, fellas. It's just you mentioned that day of all the catchers and pitchers got me kind of sad, but
I know.
Hey, I know it's what we got to deal with right now, but
hey,
I'm doing well, fellas. Happy to see you guys. It's been a while.
Absolutely, buddy. We got guys like Ross Stripling on the inside. He's working away. They'll hammer out a deal. But yes, my friend, very good to see you. How's things going? Things are good?
Honestly, been so busy, man. It's been cold. It's been snowy, but it doesn't stop from getting things done. And I know RBI, and we've been getting busy and everything else. So my job, everything's been so busy, and it's been okay. But it doesn't make it's an awesome. I just want baseball to get started. I want things to happen. I want spring to start. I just want to get on the field again. I'm kind of itching, and really itching, and got that little warm stint there for a while. I'm just like ready to go. I'm just ready to go.
So obviously, you're one of the best grinders I know in terms of your work ethic, Roddy, and you instill that in your students at RBI. I'll just give you a quick shout out here, but I think you're in the middle of block 2 right now. What are you guys doing for training? I know all the kids are like right in the middle of winter training right now because, like you said, spring is right around the corner, and that's when tryouts are and everything. So, where are you guys at with your training regimen right now?
We're just finishing block 3 right now, actually,
Block 3.
and it is honestly awesome. Busy. We got so many kids hitting personal best right now. It is like you walk in the door and you just feel the intensity and the fun atmosphere right now, and it's kind of cool to take that and you come in there and it's just like a rejuvenation. And just as coaches, you come in there and kids are just ready to go, fired up, and you hear all the different the hitting and different lessons and keeping it loose but still having fun. That's the big thing. And we are not too long, we're going to be I'm taking a group and we're going to Kamloops coming up here soon, and there's different groups, older groups going to Kamloops here again pretty quick, and that just gets you really close. And our players right now they're down nitty-gritty grind and they're ready to go, and which makes it kind of fun, and us coaches to just see them hit those personal bests and still go to these showcases and know that they're giving their best. That's what it's all about, man. That's why we do what we do as coaches at RBI. Or just coaches in general. That's what we love.
Max, I'll let you get in here just a sec, but I'm going to have to just take 1 second out of this because, John, have you been sleeping under a rock? They've been on strike for like 75 days. they are in a strike. It's happening. So anyways, just wanted to mention that to John. Shout out to John O, good friend from Winnipeg. Max, go ahead.
You know what, Roddy? As much as, and again, like the sentiments you just echoed, right? Like, how do you top that, right? I think I go back to is there anything better than walking around, watching a student, and not just the fact of the personal best hitting, but that ball smacking a mitt. There really isn't a better sound effect in all of sports, in my personal opinion, outside maybe the odd dinger or two off of a wood bat. But again, right, it's those sights, it's those smells, it's those sounds. Those are the things that really just, again, that's what makes a day like today really hard, knowing that the guys that we emulate and look up to and watch on the major league fields not necessarily being going to be on time at the start of their season. What do you think about the Jays, though, buddy? What do you think? I know it's been a slow-moving off season, but let's get into a little bit of kind of our fandom here. Yeah. What are you thinking about the Jays in 2022 after obviously a very, very heartbreaking end to 2021?
I've been itching, honestly. I've been already looking at booking my tickets to go see them play. Like, I'm already looking at going, hopefully they do play. But, I mean, I've been following them, and I've just seen, and all of a sudden this lockout came in December, and it's just kind of like I lost that. I don't know. I want the Jays to be successful, and they're going to be successful, and I really think they will. It's just a matter of getting all this thing figured out and get them on the field. Because, I mean, if they don't get on the field, any team's not going to be successful, I'll be honest. Because, I mean, if they say they're going to hopefully get into being a March, teams will be able to go. That's 4 weeks before, opening day. And that's going to set back a lot of teams. And hopefully these young guys that the Jays have, are going to be that much ready. Because, I mean, them being, young and ready to go and determined, I think that's going to be an advantage for them. Because, I mean, they have the guys that can get it done and just need to get that experience under their belt. And that's one more experience they got, is dealing with a 4-week push before opening day. That's going to make that team that just much better, I really personally think.
Absolutely. And I guess, sorry, Clark, to cut you off there. I just had kind of one more follow-up to it, just from a pitcher standpoint, right? Obviously, all three of us in this conversation here have thrown the ball. Some a little better than others when we look at yourself on the bottom screen. But again, with a potential delay to the start of the season, I mean, we saw it obviously in 2020 with COVID, and it was a reliance on the guys to really show up and be in their best condition, but they were still within their teams. They were still playing together versus the dynamic that we have now where it's a lockout technically, right? Guys aren't going to the facilities. Guys aren't necessarily going to be in that team aspect environment right away. How much does that set pitchers back when I guess your offseason even gets thrown off by 2 weeks, let alone potentially a month, maybe 2, maybe even 3? How much does that really change, I guess, for a pitcher in terms of your preparation for when you do get going, when you don't know when you're going to get going?
Well, I mean, as a pitcher, I mean, my career and all these people I've talked to, the mental game is such a huge aspect of it. And I mean, we can talk on and on, we will, but I mean, these pitchers as a pitcher, and I think pitchers in the MLB here are going to have to face is that mental hurdle of actually facing someone else besides their teammates, because they already know what kind of where they can pitch to them, and just making it more realistic. I think that's more the competitive side, and that atmosphere side that's what takes a while to get back into, and it's those reps as a team camaraderie, and I think that's a team thing. That's what gets those teams' momentums going. That's what the Jays did. It's that team build, that team, what they all believed in together. And I feel like that's what spring training makes a big thing. It's start building that team and then also running with it for the month of May, June, July. And they're going to lose that time together because they're pushing it more individualized, and also the team aspect's going to kind of go out the roof. So I feel like once they get their team and they focus on the team, I feel like that competitiveness as a pitcher will be able to support each other all as one big circle kind of thing. So it's one of those things you just got to go with the punches, I guess.
One thing I loved, I saw the headline that Dante Bechet has quit the Blue Jays because he was coaching with them in order to work with Bo in the offseason more one-on-one. I just think that's freaking awesome.
It's a fun paperwork transaction for when they hire him back immediately as things get going, but still,
weird.
It's good.
So anyways, just kind of reminds me of, the RBI stuff. And you mentioned a lot of stuff about different training techniques and on all the stuff that it takes to get ready for a season. Now at RBI, you guys have a really cool announcement and you're really pumped about this. I can genuinely tell that you're excited about this, Roddy. So go ahead. I'll give you the floor here. What's the big thing going on at RBI right now?
Well, I've been something that's been in the works for a while, and it's so cool opportunity for our athletes in Saskatchewan just to kind of be above the other athletes in this country. And it's awesome to be able to bring a person in that I know personally, and I've worked with him personally. He's changed my life within baseball and just in general how I see goal setting and just everything I do within my career, my job, coaching. It's like everything I've shaped my way of coaching. And we have to bring in Dave Righty Williams. He's a mental conditioning coach. The resume says it for itself, man. I could read it all off here. I mean, the guy worked with the U.S. military, former mental conditioning coach for the Mets, Cleveland Indians. He taught me a lot. He taught me a lot, just the basics of, slowing down your brain, worrying about your mind, worrying about what you need to look forward and kind of really put that goal in perspective. I mean, look at that resume. Former mental conditioning coach of the Cleveland Indians. He worked with the U.S. Air Force. That's a lot of stuff. Is cool stories to hear. In the sniper, all these divisions he's worked with, and the players he worked with. I used to shape my game around Andrew Miller, and the cool stories to hear about Andrew Miller. That just blew my mind and got me more motivated to do it. And I'm super thankful. I know people at RBI, we worked hard just to take pride in bringing those different, avenues to our athletes and giving them the experiences to be able to achieve their goals and achieve what they want to do in career baseball and life, and and just be able to take the bull by the horns and improve on all aspects. And it's pretty cool to be a part of it and let all of our kids, they can go in goals, but big thing of baseball is the mental side, and that's what people need to we'll get a piece of with listening to this webinar on March 24th.
So yeah, very cool that that's happening. Now, Roddy, we talked to Chris about this last time Chris was on with us. But you and me and Max, we grew up in a generation where surgical tubing was pretty advanced technology for us at the time. Now, Chris told me that you guys now have a straight up VR headset in your facility that you guys are using to get extra reps. Can you just talk about the impact that that's had on some of the stuff that you've been working on? How cool is it to have that in your facility?
It's funny because, always everybody said pitchers would look funky and they do their own funky things. And also now I see hitters in the corner at the RBI doing extra reps. And I was talking to Chris today. They said they got 9,000 extra reps of just seeing pitches. And I was like, man, oh man, that is something else. Being able to see the pitches, see the curveball, be able to justify what's a ball and a strike before even being able to be on a field. That just shows for the mental side how it really gets you ready and gets you mentally ready for real life situations in game. And I've honestly, when I put that on and as an instructor, I was mind blown. I was like, what? I would have done anything for one of these when I was a kid, and be able to be a part of this. And my hitting, I'm a pitcher and I like to think I hit, but I can't.
Oh, but, Roddy, I saw you swing the bat a few times. You had it. You knew how to stretch one.
Roddy's one of those guys where he's the one that everyone says, when he connects with it, it goes a long way.
Oh, buddy had a night, just a clean finish on the swing too. Always the full arm extension. Roddy had like talking about NFTs in the space of that. Roddy had that nice clean photo finish every time, and he was ready. He was ready for his moment.
All right, when are the RBI NFTs coming out, Max? When
Well, I guess we got to get the dialogue going on that. But anyways,
yeah, that's the next
proprietary information. We'll cut this out of the episode.
Yeah. So I guess, Roddy, first of all, Dave Williams his ears must have been burning. He's popped in and said hi.
Oh, Dave. Nice to see you, buddy. I'm excited to have you.
So there he is. John Ohm again, shout out. He says, watching the Flames ladies curling in SquadCast. Shout out to anyone who's checking in. Make sure you drop a like on the video today. Hit the share button if you don't mind. That helps us out a ton. So, Roddy, I guess to kind of wrap it up here, tell us where everybody can kind of get a hold of you guys at RBI. Where can we find you? Is there a time to get involved in this webinar that you guys are working with? Give us the kind of rundown of that.
Yeah, we just released with the webinar, we just released some information that people could sign up. We just got the email access today, and it blew up. And people want to be a part of it. People want to learn. People want to be successful, and that's why we want to offer to our athletes and want to offer to people. And Dave's the guy to put them in that right place and give them the right guidance to be successful. And I have all the right things to say about Dave, and I'm so excited to have him with our athletes. And you can contact Chris. You can contact RBI, our Facebook page and Instagram has a link to the webinar. There's limited spots. See how it goes. Limited spots. It's going to be over virtual, but it doesn't mean that we can't get all the mental reps in that way too, from learning different ways of goal setting, resiliencies, and all that. So everything that you need, just contact RBI. You can Facebook, websites, Instagram, all that stuff. And I'm just shaking right now just thinking about it. I'm so excited just to bring this for our athletes.
Love it, absolutely love it. Roddy, thanks for popping in here tonight. I'm sure fishing's right around the corner for you, so I'm sure that's pumped. You got pumped up for that too, coming up for too long.
Always do. I haven't been fishing lately. I've been more focusing on personal goal stuff, trying to get back in shape and eating right, getting back into the things I need to do to get the mental ready. And I thought, why not offer to everybody else the same things I've been working on? So always good. Oh, Chris, you always
There's
love
Chris.
Big fishing guy.
All right, Roddy, I got a quick either or for you before we let you go. Backwards K to close out a game, or nailing. What was the term you used in your Instagram story the other weekend? I saw you out with Brandon with Mr. Cater there. What was the term you guys were dubbing the big ones that you were trying to grab?
Oh, are you talking about the fishing burb?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, landing a big burb or backwards K-ing up somebody in the bottom of the ninth.
There's nothing like back up K in the bottom of the ninth. It's something about walking off that mountain knowing that you dropped the hammer, and that's what it's all about. But that's a tough question there, but I'll take the K for sure. Backwards K.
The K over the burb. I like it.
Now my gears are going, Max. I got one more for you. Buckling a knee or a swing and a miss. I always love buckling the knee on a curveball for strike.
You never buckled anybody's knee on a curveball. Oh,
shush, Max. Get out of here with that. I had one of the best curveballs in the league. But anyway,
what league?
The same one you played in.
Well, I'll tell you this, Clark. My favorite was when the buckle the knee with a swing while hitting the knee with the backwards slider. That's my favorite. That's on that. That's my favorite. It must have been a nasty pitch if they're going to swing it and buckle at the same time. That's what it's all about right there.
Perfect. All right, Roddy, we'll let you go, and I'm so pumped for all this news coming out of RBI, and we'll hopefully chat again before too long.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Take care, buddy.
There he is, Coach Roddy. Love that guy.
Guy's electric, man. Guys,
what a show. We've had hour 15, a jam-packed show here.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we need to touch on before we take off for the evening?
Did you hear the Rams won the Super Bowl?
Wait, no. Tell me about it.
Well, let me tell you. All right, so it all started with a dream.
Oh, okay.
Les Snead, Sean. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's been a busy week regardless. Obviously, it's a really exciting week for LA Rams fans around the world, but just in general, right? Like you said, we're kind of hitting into this phase of the hockey season now where its trade deadline is starting to kind of creep into the forefronts of everybody's minds. The Calgary Flames obviously getting some work done early wanting to establish a little bit of a dominance or establish a little bit of a kind of getting a good feeling by injecting Toffoli into that lineup a little sooner than necessary. And yeah, man, it's just going to be a fun stretch run here. I know the Preds are playing the Caps right now. I have no idea what the score is. But with that being said,
they were down 1-0 earlier. Somebody mentioned.
They've been on a bit of a skid late. They've lost a couple. I was worried about this though, because the Preds were one of those teams that played a lot of games in the front half of the year, even when they did kind of have the shutdown with the Omicron. The Preds are only playing like 4 games in 15 days or something. That's really hard to get up to when you're out of that regular schedule. It's nice to have that break and that little bit of rest, but I'm not sure they're going to see the good effects of that rest until a little further down the road when their schedule condenses up a little bit more and they're a little bit more in the regular routine. But it's going to be exciting. We'll see what happens down the stretch run. We'll see.
Myron's coming in with the late chirps just at the end of the show, dropping one before this show's over.
I was going to say, I thought I saw you buckle a knee when you went down the stairs at IKS once. That was the knee buckle that I saw.
Trust me. Now, at this age, my knees have been buckling all the time.
Oh, I did have one more thing. I have an announcement.
Okay, before you get to the announcement.
Oh, okay.
Got to crack the hard seltzer for the original 16 nightcap.
Yes, good call. Yes,
thank you.
The announcement.
That. Cranberry. And I have an announcement as well, Max, about next week's show, because you are taking.
You're retiring from the show too?
I don't hope not.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I saw your face get a little whiter there. It wasn't because of the light either. Anyways, you'd miss me. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not retiring from the show, but I thought about this today. I achieved a little bit of clarity when you come down off such an emotional high as such an experience Sunday night, and once the substances leave the system, just the beverages, nothing more, nothing less. But when it comes to things of that nature, you achieve a little clarity. And so what I thought in my own life was the Rams just went on their road to Super Bowl 56, right? And I know you and I have talked about things a little while in the past about maybe getting things a little bit more dialed up in terms of the conditioning. Well, I've now committed verbally on this show, and in addition in my own life with some other influences, I'm on my own road to 56.
Whoa.
And it's the road to dropping 56 pounds because I think
56, Max.
56, buddy. Yeah, it's going to be 56 by the time the Rams kick off the 2022 NFL season. I will be a lot I will take up a lot less of this shot in the camera here.
That's a lot of weight in a little time.
It's a necessary change, buddy. You know what? You know when things again, right? We're talking about knees buckling, and I'm chirping you. Oh man, I got no reason to be chirping because my knees have been buckling a little bit too much lately as well. You're just not feeling good. The headspace isn't quite right. The chest, the stomach, the thing, everything's just not working at optimal capacity. So heading into a new phase of the life, getting wrapped up with school, getting wrapped up with a few things, and just wanting to maybe start 28 years old on a bit of a better note. And I kind of thought again, right? The connection, right? The road to 56. My boys did it. I know the amount of work that had to go into that to get that done. The celebration was well worth it, but now it's time to go on my own road to 56, and that's pounds down. So I might try chronicling a couple of things on TikTok that I don't usually do, because that's going to keep me a little bit more accountable if I'm putting things out in the public. But with that being said, it's well past due to start my own road. So here we go.
Let's February get your TikTok 15th. Channel growing so that we can go live on TikTok at the same time we go live on here.
Well, when I'm losing weight, I'm not going to have time for live TikToks, buddy. I can't do the whole 3-hour marathon TikTok dealio when you're trying. There's only so many hours in a day,
No, I'm talking about if we're going to be live anyways, you might as well go live on all the platforms.
You're talking Tuesday nights. Gotcha.
Yeah, just for the show. We could go live together on TikTok as well as over here.
Look at that. All right.
Cool. But so, Max, my mom would say this. You have 56 pounds to lose?
Oh yeah, I do, buddy. Yeah.
All right. There you go.
On the scale. And my dad, I don't know, my father, not our mutual father, but my father, he keeps, this is kind of a passive aggressive thing. And I don't know if all parents do this, but they send pictures, like of memories, reminiscing about certain stuff. And my dad doesn't really send memories. He just sends me pictures of when I was drastically skinnier and took really good care of myself. And no context other than just hey, you were skinny once. You should probably try that again,
Remember when you looked like this?
Yeah, exactly. It's yeah, Dad, I do. Thanks. Not emotional damage.
Well,
that's
in fairness,
exactly
Max, you were a bit of a gym rat back in the day. Your dad was sending me some of those pics too, just to show me what you used to look like. Also,
I have the receipts. I do have the receipts that I had it dialed in at one point. The time has passed. I am now the fan of a team that has won a championship in my lifetime, and
There
it
you go.
feels awesome. And I got
Let's
some
go.
nice threads that I got to fit into.
Yep.
So yeah, it's my own road to 56. I encourage anybody that wants to join me, feel free. Let's do this. But yeah,
go.
it's time for me to make some lifestyle changes. So
Well, good
it's
job,
out
buddy.
there. We're manifesting it. Let's go.
Proud of you. That's awesome. Good to hear.
Yeah.
So
Salad
my
sucks.
news,
Just gonna let you know.
No, yeah, my announcement, I guess, is not as inspirational, but so next week Max isn't gonna be here next week. So we got a special episode planned for you. Now my TikTokers are gonna like to hear this.
Yeah, you've been doing some recruiting, eh?
Yes. So Max, have I told you the list?
I saw one of the names in the list through Twitter DMs.
Oh yeah, I guess you would have saw that one.
Yeah,
so
got access to the accounts.
Yeah, we're
Good
gonna
stuff.
do a TikTok specific, TikTok creator specific episode next week, and we're gonna go 4 divisional reps from across the NHL. So I got fans from a team in every division, and they're not just nobodies here, Max. We got for the Pacific Division. She's been on this show. Sweet Annie O'Donnell.
Great get.
Ducks super fan. She's awesome. Fantastic. Now in the Central, to replace you not being here for the Central, we got Jesse Pierce coming back.
Jesse Pierce, another
Minnesota
great guest.
Wild writer.
Another great
NHL.
get.
Yeah, NHL.com. For the Metro Division, my good buddy John Hill, you may know him as that Solar Bear fan from TikTok, is going to be joining us. He's a Pittsburgh.
Oh, I thought for a second you got like Jonah Hill from Superbad, and I'm like, he's a
John
Metro
Hill.
Division hockey fan. Nice, get
John Hill.
Clark.
He's a Penguins
I should
fan.
come in for next week.
Yeah, no, he's a Penguins fan. He lives down in Florida, so he's also kind of doubles as a Florida Panthers fan. He works for Disney, so we're gonna have some stories there. But
nice.
John, my buddy John, that Solar Bears fan, is going to join us. His name is the ECHL team. He goes to all the Solar Bears games down in Orlando, so he's a big Solar Bear guy. And now this is the big one in terms of follower count, and I'm hoping this guy is legit when he says he's ready to come on. That Leafs fan, Giuseppe, he has 350,000 followers on TikTok, will be our Atlantic Division representative, representing the Leafs, of course. He lives in Montreal.
You really reached far to dive out of the Leafs circle, didn't you there, bud?
Well, you know what? Now, here's what I'm going to do. This is my structure. This is my plan. I'm going to be a neutral moderator. I am just going to drive the conversation. I want these people to be the stars of the show. So I am not neutral.
Moderate? What?
I'm not going to be Leafs fan Clark on this one. Giuseppe can be Leaf fan if he wants, but we're talking divisions. We're not talking specific teams. So I think it's going to be a fun little format. It's going to be a little different than what we've done in the past, but it should be pretty fun.
Well, guess what? Your marketing guy's wheels are already churning. He'll have a graphic for you for the TikTok takeover. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going to call
TikTok takeover. So if you guys are on TikTok, there's a decent chance you probably follow all 4 of those people. But if you don't, make sure you go do. I'll confirm it all up this week, and hopefully everybody can make it. And we'll have a fun show next week. So, Max, I think that's going to do it for us here tonight. Before you guys take off, if you're on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or TikTok, please like the video, share the video, subscribe, hit the like button on our channels. That'd be lovely if you don't already. And any parting words, Max, outside of the Rams winning the Super Bowl? That's got to be it, right?
No, I'm trying to say the Rams won the Super Bowl in Spanish.
Do you know what that is?
Los cientos de victorias de Los Angeles Rams.
That sounds right.
I think I nailed that.
That sounds right.
I think I absolutely crushed that.
Will you take down all the Leafs gear while being neutral? Technically, I only have one Leafs thing up here right now. I got Canada, I got Falcons, I got Riders, and then Brooksy. But Brooksy was because he's on waivers today. So, yeah, I'll take down all the Leafs stuff if that helps you. TikTok madness. Yeah, it'll be TikTok madness. But anyways, Max, I'll see you again. Well, not next Tuesday, but we'll chat over the next little bit. We got something coming up on the weekend. We got to pay attention to.
That we do. Yeah. Is the thing getting released to the world before that point, or are we still keeping the thing locked behind closed doors?
I approved all
the thing is not a person for anybody still asking. We swear.
Yeah, I approved all the things for the thing. So I think
wonderful.
You'll get the things to build the thing for the thing.
Okay.
It might even be ready already. So I'll try to get that to you.
So the thing is ready to be an actual thing for the thing of the stuff and the things?
Correct.
Nice.
It's It's almost there.
It's almost there.
So we'll let you guys know what the thing is coming up real soon. But
let's play the intro out on this one, buddy. It'll be a good closer.
Sounds
All righty,
good.
everybody.
All right,
Thank you very much for tuning in. Take care. We'll see you next week.